The iPhone 12 Pro Max. Apple has packed their latest camera technology in this small device. Well, not exactly small, but hope you get the point. In this video, I'm going to test the device in different scenarios, take a lot of photos and videos and see how it performs. Super excited for this one. So without wasting any time, let's get started. The iPhone 12 Pro Max has 3 lenses and a LiDAR sensor, which I'll talk about later. You have the wide, the ultra wide and the telephoto, which goes till 2.5x compared to the Pro, which goes till 2x. On paper, the difference between 2x and 2.5x is not much, but I prefer the 2.5x because 1. I get more reach and 2. I like the compression of it. The good thing about iPhones is how consistent it is throughout all the lenses in terms of colors, sharpness and dynamic range. Talking about dynamic range, Apple is using what it calls as Smart HDR. Basically, what it does is it takes multiple exposures simultaneously and the software combines these exposures to give you a final result. Now, all these steps happens in a fraction of a second and it works great most of the times. Sometimes I feel the HDR is too much and it looks overprocessed according to my taste. You can turn off the Smart HDR if you want, then the results look much more natural, but you lose the extra dynamic range. I wish there was an option to adjust the level of HDR being applied on the images. I don't know if that option is ever going to come, but if it does, it would be pretty handy. Overall, the image quality is great. It can handle extreme high dynamic range situations pretty well. The images have very good contrast. The colors are nice and vibrant, but at the same time they look very natural and not oversaturated. All the images you are seeing in this video is straight out of the camera without any post-processing. With the new 14.3 iOS update, you get the option to shoot in RAW format and Apple calls it Pro RAW. The good thing about these RAW files is you can edit them right from the inbuilt editing application. This update came just a couple of days before the video launch date, so I could not test it enough, but it's a step in the right direction. When you go to the portrait mode, you have 2 options, the standard and the telephoto lens. Doesn't matter what lens you use, it's going to do a great job in cutting out the subject and separating it from the background. Obviously, it's not perfect, but compared to the other smartphones I have used till now, this is the best portrait mode I have used till date. Personally, I love using the 2.5x tele lens for portrait shots because, as I said, I love the compression and the human face looks very natural at 65mm focal length without any distortion. I had a lovely time photographing and playing with the cats and the portrait mode was absolutely on point. The background blur looks very natural and the subject is tack sharp even when zoomed in. Talking about low light photography, the biggest improvement over the previous generation is that the night mode is available in all the lenses. I use the ultra wide lens a lot and the night mode is definitely a welcome upgrade. Unfortunately, you can't turn on the night mode by yourself. If the light is low, it will automatically detect and switch to night mode. Apple should include an inbuilt manual mode which allows the users to change the shutter speed, adjust the focus manually and also the white balance. Especially if you're calling a device Pro, you should at least give a Pro mode. You see what I did there? Anyways, I've used night mode in complete dark situations and I'm really impressed with the results. There is a bit of noise in the images if you zoom in, but for such a compact device, this is very good and by far the best night mode I have used till now. The LiDAR sensor is a new addition to the Pro models. It creates a depth map by throwing invisible light beams. It's mainly going to be useful for augmented reality applications, but in terms of photography and videography, this is helpful especially for faster autofocus in low light situations. In terms of photos, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is great. It meets my expectations, but in terms of videos, it actually exceeds my expectations. Before I talk about the video features, it's time to give a shout out to the sponsors of the video, and that is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community which I personally have been using from a long time. You want to learn filmmaking, music, animation, photography, mobile photography, Skillshare is the place to go. Recently, I joined this class by Dale McManus on how to master the iPhone camera. In this class, he covers how to use the camera app and take good photos and later also edit them to make them better. Since this is my first time using an iPhone, this course was super useful. If you want to learn something new, if you want to upgrade your skills, I would definitely recommend Skillshare. The good news for you people is for the first 1000 people to click on the link in the description below, you get a free Skillshare trial membership. If you're taking a yearly subscription, you're paying less than 800 Indian rupees or $10 US and you get unlimited access to all the classes. So, if you're interested, the link is in the description. Talking about the video features, the biggest upgrade in terms of video is HDR video recording. The video you're seeing right now is shot on 10-bit HDR, which is converted to SDR, that is standard dynamic range. It's using the same principle as that of Smart HDR, but the different thing here is this is a video. When you're recording 4K footages, there's a lot of data to process. But the A14 Bionic chip is powerful enough to process that, and that impresses me the most. Only expensive professional cameras that are made especially for filmmaking can shoot HDR videos. The fact that you can do it in such a compact device is seriously mind-blowing. There are a lot of flagship phones coming up with HDR display, but none of them till date can shoot HDR videos. Initially, I thought this is a gimmick when it was advertised by Apple, but as soon as I started recording videos, I realized this is a game changer for sure. HDR videos needs to be processed in a different manner, and if you don't want to do those extra steps, you can turn off the HDR too, but if you want that crazy dynamic range, I would recommend to keep it on. In terms of resolution, this can shoot 4K 60, 30 and 24 FPS. You can also shoot 120 and 240 FPS in 1080p, but again, it doesn't look as good as the 4K videos. Since the A14 Bionic chip is so powerful, I would have loved to see a higher quality, maybe a 4K slow motion option. I hope Apple brings it in further generation iPhones. One thing that's different about the Pro Max model is sensor shift stabilization on the standard lens. The lens is not stabilized, the sensor is stabilized, like you have in-body stabilization in the mirrorless cameras. I've tested the stabilization in very complex situations. I mean, you know how good the Indian roads are, right? But the good thing is this iPhone handles it without any issues. I'm very impressed with the stabilization. The tele lens and the ultra wide doesn't have sensor shift stabilization, they have optical image stabilization, but personally they work equally well. I know I have been saying this a lot, but I haven't seen such good video stabilization in any smartphone that I've used till now. Anyone who is looking for a compact device that can shoot great looking photos and videos without putting much efforts, this is definitely a great option. Is it expensive? Yes, no doubt. But when I saw what this device is capable of, I realized this is way above the other competition and totally worth it. But again, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about this device in the comments below. That's it from this video guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, press the like button. If you're new to the channel, for more such content, subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.